The Ukrainian Army's elite 3rd Separate Assault Brigade is launching a meticulous sweep and clear operation into a contested woodland sector. Operating on fresh intelligence, their objective is to dismantle a network of Russian fortified positions hidden deep within the tree line. For infantry, this environment, often referred to as the green zone, is a tactical nightmare. The dense spring foliage severely restricts visibility, often reducing the line of sight to just a few dozen feet. In these conditions, advanced optics and drones lose much of their effectiveness, forcing the infantry to rely on traditional, grueling close-quarters tactics. Every thicket, fallen tree, or shadow could conceal a Russian tripwire, a sniper, or a machine gun nest. The squad advances with absolute discipline, minimizing noise while maintaining a 360-degree security perimeter. They are looking for the smallest anomalies in the environment. A discarded ration tin or a freshly broken branch can be the only warning sign before an ambush. The point man uses a specialized technique, scanning not just for movement, but for unnatural shapes and colors that don't belong in the forest. In this phase of the operation, patience is just as lethal a weapon as the rifles they carry. As the assault element pushes deeper into the enemy's defensive belt, they stumble upon an abandoned Russian dugout, littered with the aftermath of recent artillery strikes. Here they discover the body of a Russian soldier. While gruesome, standard operating procedure dictates a thorough search of enemy casualties. The Ukrainian operators are conducting immediate battlefield exploitation. They carefully search for smartphones, radios, maps, or identification papers. In a war where electronic warfare dictates the pace of combat, a single recovered radio can provide the intelligence needed to dismantle an entire enemy battalion.
Ще калахи надо. Забери калах ось. Ось тут калаха должна возле. Ой.
Да. Рядом еще новый постройки.
Це тепло.
Там мы забыли. Сейчас я покажу.
Just yards away, the squad makes another critical discovery: a downed enemy drone wired with a payload. Instead of destroying it in place, they carefully dismantle the explosive and secure the drone in a backpack. This is a massive intelligence prize. In modern warfare, recovering an intact enemy drone can yield flight logs, launch coordinates, and frequency data. For the electronic warfare teams back at headquarters, this piece of plastic and circuitry is worth its weight in gold. The eerie silence of the forest is suddenly broken. Radio crackle confirms that Russian infantry are attempting to maneuver through the brush just ahead. The unit instantly transitions from a patrol formation into a combat posture. The Ukrainian response is immediate. In dense woodland combat, the side that establishes fire superiority first usually dictates the outcome of the engagement. By laying down a massive volume of suppressive fire, the Ukrainians aim to pin the Russian troops in place, denying them the ability to coordinate a counterattack.
Фастовский шлем надо, конечно. Магазин. Надо.
Що, у нас зброї нема, да?
Хтось уже приходить, якщо рюкзак залутав. Ні телефона, ні документів нема. Ні. Я. Все. Амінь. Распаковка. Шинкуем сюда. Эти хорошие русские.
Following a brief but brutal exchange of fire, the squad pushes forward to clear the kill zone. The aftermath is stark. They locate neutralized Russian combatants among the foliage. Notice the complete lack of hesitation. The operators are clinically clearing the perimeter, ensuring no one is playing dead or holding a live grenade. One soldier identifies the enemy KIA and immediately cross-checks his sector. There is no time to dwell on the grim reality of close-quarters combat. They must maintain their momentum.
Рухається в вашу сторону. Ми їх не спостерігаємо вже. Хто кричить? Сука, я не писав. Ти писав?
Ні, блядь.
The squad pushes into a recently abandoned Russian bivouac. The position is literally on fire, indicating the enemy fled in an absolute panic just moments before the Ukrainians arrived. The operators rush to extinguish the flames, not out of environmental concern, but to salvage the Russian radios, weapons, and power banks left behind. Capturing enemy communications equipment provides a real-time window into Russian command decisions, giving the Ukrainian assault teams a crucial tactical edge.
Радейка есть?
Одна радейка тут. Понял, выделил.
Сука.
Одна радейка есть? Тут две калахи. Тут калахи.
Туши. Сука, петух.
Радейка, возле него радейка.
Ай, подумай, вон лежит, горит. И павербанк. Сука. Ебать, черканула. Ряза. А ось і друга, ще одну, дві радейки там. Забирай. Нет. Шея, ты не пока.
Идет, блядь.
Идет?
Отходим. Отходим, блядь, делай. Складной.
Складной? Сними на гоупрошку, блядь. На гоупрошку сними. Надо въебать сюда. Сука. Ты. Там шукает. Тут может что быть. Фух, пальцы после работы. Фух, заебался.
The chaotic and arbitrary nature of survival is put on stark display inside a dark, captured bunker.
Сквозь.
A Ukrainian soldier has sustained a wound. A Russian bullet grazed his neck and head. In any other profession, this is a catastrophic near miss. Here, it is treated with chilling calm. The squad's combat medic quickly assesses the injury under the beam of a headlamp, checking for deep tissue damage. Finding it superficial, he wipes away the blood, and the soldier is immediately ready to return to the fight. In the middle of an assault, losing a man to a minor wound is a luxury they cannot afford. The terrain abruptly shifts as the unit emerges from the tree line and assaults a ruined agricultural compound. Urban combat principles now apply. Every doorway and basement hatch is a potential fatal funnel. Approaching a dark, fortified root cellar, the lead operator executes standard close-quarters battle protocol by tossing in a fragmentation grenade. Sending infantry into an uncleared subterranean space without explosive preparation is practically a death sentence. The grenade neutralizes any potential threat hiding in the blind spots. However, the fog of war brings a sudden, jarring reality check. In the very next outbuilding, they discover not Russian infantry, but local Ukrainian civilians hiding in the basement. In a fraction of a second, the soldiers must shift their mindset from aggressive combatants to protectors. The squad urgently directs the terrified locals to flee toward the cemetery, a pre-designated safe route away from the active line of fire. It is a sobering reminder that this battlefield is not an empty wasteland, but someone's home. With the civilians directed towards safety, the unit plunges back into the dense green wall of the forest to hunt the remaining Russian defenders. The psychological stress here is immense. The element of surprise is entirely gone. The enemy is entrenched, desperate, and waiting. The soldiers must move at a snail's pace, constantly scanning the canopy for lethal FPV drones and the ground for tripwires. The hunter-killer dynamic is in full effect, and a single mistake now will be fatal.
Отсюда выбег и так пробег туда. Вот отсюда сюда наеборила версия зала. Вот тут, а там туда. И поехал. Следи крови нема. Рука? Давай. Трохи повітря, да?
Contact. A fierce point-blank firefight erupts in the heavy brush. At these ranges, combat is purely instinctual. The Ukrainian infantry utilize peeling maneuvers, bounding from tree to tree, covering one another with relentless bursts of automatic fire. The noise of the rifles is deafening, rendering verbal communication almost useless. The squad relies entirely on their rigorous training and muscle memory, using the sheer volume of their fire to suppress the Russian positions and dominate the space.
кучі дерев, блядь. Пташка. Пташка наша, наша.
Мінус, пташки нашої немає.
Я ще, може, в нього і попав. Він між двох дерев, що дивлюсь, махав. А? Я бачив його. Блядь, ну метрів 30-40. Між двох дерев, поняв, там він всередині дерев був. І отак тоді входимо. Така пташка наша над нами.
Suddenly, a massive explosion rocks the tree line, sending a thick plume of black smoke into the air. This is the classic Russian tactical response to losing an infantry engagement, falling back and calling in blind artillery or mortar strikes to blanket the grid. The Ukrainians cannot afford to stay static. They must push through the danger area and keep moving before the enemy spotters can correct their artillery fire and wipe out the entire squad.
Надавай тогда по Богу! Сейчас я повернусь! Давай!
But the relentless advance comes at a heavy cost. A Ukrainian soldier takes a severe hit. The dynamic of the battlefield shifts instantly from an offensive assault to a desperate casualty rescue. According to the principles of tactical combat casualty care, the best medicine on a battlefield is fire superiority. The squad must first lay down a wall of lead to push the Russians back, creating a temporary bubble of safety. Only then can the medics rush in to apply tourniquets and stabilize the massive trauma. The extraction is heavily complicated by the unforgiving terrain. You can hear the physical exhaustion in the operators' voices, yet their teamwork is flawless. One soldier takes the point with his rifle raised, pulling security against a potential counterattack, while the others coordinate the grueling physical task of carrying their wounded teammate through the dense brush. It's a delicate and dangerous balance between moving fast enough to save his life and providing a stable platform so they don't exacerbate his injuries. In what is perhaps the most surreal and defining moment of the entire operation, the severely wounded Ukrainian soldier lies on the forest floor, waiting for the final extraction team. Despite his traumatic injuries, he is remarkably composed, casually smoking a cigarette as his squad mates patch him up. This is not Hollywood bravado. It is the ultimate display of psychological resilience and absolute trust in his brothers in arms. He knows the unit's medevac protocols are flawless and that they will not leave him behind. As the medevac team successfully extracts the wounded soldier on a tactical litter, the operation draws to a close. The 3rd Assault Brigade has achieved its objective. They have methodically cleared a heavily defended sector, neutralized multiple Russian firing positions, and gathered vital battlefield intelligence. It is a decisive tactical victory, but it highlights the brutal arithmetic of this war. Ground is taken not by grand, sweeping maneuvers, but by highly disciplined infantry, fighting yard by bloody yard, relying on suppressive fire and an unbreakable bond with the men fighting beside them.